there's probably some spectrum in between.
Right.
Where, you know, I'm okay taking bike lanes.
Mhm.
And occasionally I'm okay taking the lane, but do I want to take Center Street all the way?
Yeah, right.
I don't know about that.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't.
that's kind of how, that's how I think about it too.
Yeah,
I
there
don't
are
think
some-
for a while.
There are some crazy users out there.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they just do it.
But yeah, and that, so I sort of preface with that, to say, you know, there's a map on Strava.com which shows people's activity, and of course you'll see very bright lines on the arterials, and I assume these are all your road warriors, right?
Right, the people that have a strong app.
Yeah,
Right.
well, yeah, but you can find other insights looking at that.
Yeah.
You can see, you know, maybe where some of these other users go to bypass these dangerous or these uncomfortable situations.
Right.
And sometimes you can pick up on informal trails or paths. You know, there's one in Provo that's used all the time. It's not an official trail, but it shows up pretty heavily on the map. So, you know, you can use it. Yeah, it's not scientific,
Uh-huh.
you know, and it's capturing only a segment of users, from the users, but you can gain insights to it from it.
Sure. No,
They
that might
help
be a good-
plan some routes that way. Like, oh, there's a lot of people that use this. I didn't realize that. Maybe why is that? Okay, well, it feels comfortable. Maybe moms are using that.
Right.
Or not moms, but people like me with kids.
Yeah, there's.
When I had a
someone
trailer,
taking
yeah.
their kids along, yeah, because I plan out my route very carefully. If I know my two kids
Yeah.
are into
Yeah.
it versus when I'm just riding. I'm like,
Yeah. So, I
Hey.
mean, situational.
I think Quinn's with us. Hey, Quinn.
Hello, friends. How are you?
Good to see you.
There's one person I can't see. Is that Michaela?
Yep.
Another master in the room.
We have any- So-
Well, we have a master asterisk.
Oh,
I have my final economics class that I'm taking that finishes at the end of June.
okay.
Oh,
So I got blocked, but it's not official. I haven't like announced it
quite.
broadly yet because what if I fail that economics class?
You will rise next time you walk in the room.
But Sarah, you had a celebration and I had major FOMO not being in town for that. Can you,
Oh, yeah,
can you report on it?
it was a big party.
It was fun. That was great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's been fun to see you dreaming about this and then, you know, here we are. It's
Yeah. Indeed. Well, I gave a shout out to my colleagues who wrote letters of recommendation for me in that process, and I really appreciate I know that you guys are busy, so I was very grateful for the support that you guys have lent to us. It's
Our pleasure.
I called on both of you and Hillary. Sorry, Paul, I didn't call on you.
No worries.
I didn't know you as well.
well, congratulations. That's really lovely.
Thank you.
And Michaela, welcome back. We missed you last time.
Thank you. I'm much happier to be here than homesick, so.
Indeed,
Much better.
Yes.
we're going around.
Yeah, lots of things.
Has anyone heard from Hillary today?
No.
I have
If
it.
not,
Okay, she has not informed me if she's going to be absent. But she might come. I know that this is a busy time of the day for her and her kids. Michaela, are we ready to start?
Yep, we are good to
We've
go.
been recording for a bit.
Okay. Well, excellent. I think everybody has the agenda and we'll get through as much of this as we can. We might be able to make it through everything today. Just note that Michaela added very helpfully at the bottom of our agenda that we are switching back to Thursday beginning in June. So that one will sneak up on us because it's only 2 weeks away. It is the 1st of June. We're going back to our first Thursday in June. And I just want to confirm that that fits people's schedules.
Yeah, I will be in Canada. I'm not sure if I'll be able to join by Zoom, but I definitely won't be here in person.
Next one.
Darren, are you in town for that?
I will be freshly back from Bolivia, a little bit, probably discombobulated, but yes, I will be here.
That should be fun.
Yeah.
What will you be doing in Bolivia?
Well, trying to lay groundwork for more BYU presence there.
And Sarah, does that now with your class schedule? Okay.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. I will be able to join, but I will have to join by Zoom again, unfortunately, because I have some commitments on Thursdays. I teach Friday in DC for the summer. But even though I'm commuting back and forth a fair amount this summer, my teaching obligations are on Fridays, which mean that I have to be here by Thursday.
Yeah.
But I will plan on being here as well. So we should have a quorum. And Paul, would love to have you if you can.
Okay, we'll try.
But as I recall, Paul, you have a month in Vancouver Island, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Which
You
is
really must, I think.
Wow.
And they just had their heat wave, so hopefully it'll be
When do you
nice.
leave? I mean, when
My,
you come back.
okay, when do I come back? It's June 25th. I think, yeah, we're leaving May 26th.
What's going on?
Just for fun.
Oh,
Yeah, well, doing a family vacation. We got a little beach house.
Awesome.
On Vancouver Island.
this
We're gonna
is
make
kind
it
of a post 10-year celebration, maybe.
Yeah, just like this one day. It'll be a lot of fun.
sounds lovely. If I can figure out a way to visit you, I will try.
Yeah, you're welcome to.
And you can zoom in with me.
Before we get too far on the agenda, I have to bow out a few minutes early. I have a graduation to go to.
Oh, fun.
Just a quick update, the rain barrel rain harvest program event was last Wednesday. Not much to report. I went to the event for a little while, but there was a steady stream of people from several municipalities picking up. I think Utah.
Right.
Yeah, it's at the Micron, well, Texas.
Right.
Building. Yeah, I think Utah County joined in this year, paid for the county participants, but I'll have a more formal report with numbers next month. They had a change in staffing, and this year's staff order did not communicate as well as last year's. So I'll be waiting for the final invoice to see how many we actually distributed to our citizens. I know it's over 100. Last mid-April was 112 or something, so I'm not sure of the 160 something I think we budgeted for actually got reserved, but I will know that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. That fits very nicely into our agenda. Because our first item on the agenda is a review of our activities. So I wanted to express appreciation for the three of you for being there for the city council meeting and supporting that. I had a chance to debrief that briefly with Paul. He said that there were some technical issues with their slides, which was a little frustrating, given the work that had been put in on that.
And just so you know, you're not alone. We're having substantial issues with our IT department in solving that problem. So you're not alone.
It wasn't personal.
I'm very sorry.
So no sabotage, right, Matt, on that one?
But
It was not sabotage, is what you're saying.
no, it was, that I was worried I had dropped the ball. I ran back to my office to get my laptop as a backup, but it wasn't my fault. Actually. So I was relieved.
It seemed like they were very confused over there, and there was something weird going.
Yeah, and you're not the only one. Every one of our meetings seems to have some type of problems.
Well,
We made it work, solve it out the next.
Yeah. It worked fine.
yeah.
Would one of you be willing to report on our awardees and their experience there that night?
I can share about Raymond, and then Darren can, he talked with Rachel. for a bit before the award ceremony. I think Raymond was very honored by, he didn't feel necessarily like he deserved an award from Orem. Since most of his work is done at BYU, but I just reiterated that it's a way to celebrate Orem residents and how they're contributing overall, whether that's in Orem or in the region, in promoting these concepts. And he's done a lot of at BYU, so it was great to be able to share that.
Yeah, and Rachel seemed very pleased, and it was great to see her again, and just touch base with her and encourage her on her work, and she seemed very appreciative and was it seems to be doing even more things moving forward, so it was great.
It'd be interesting to see their water numbers.
Yeah, what did they talk about? She talked about
Changing to drip.
changing to the drip, right? That was what I was looking for, about how what else they had changed. Yeah, they'd done a drip system, so that was great.
It'll be interesting to get that
Yeah.
figured.
Oh, good. It looks also like Hillary's joining us. Paul and I supported an Earth Day booth. Paul was the main supporter. I was the wingman on that one. Do you want to report on that, Paul?
Yeah, Matt set it up for us. Thank you, Matt.
I apologize for missing, I had some stuff come up and.
No, it's okay. It was all set up. And there was pretty good turnout for the event. I got to talk to. Oh, I should have kept a tally, but there was probably 24 people that stopped at our booth to chat. And Matt had provided some brochures from Central Utah Water Conservancy and also Rocky Mountain Power that I could share, some rebate information, or what's it called, Blue Sky, Rocky Mountain Blue Sky information. A lot of people were interested in particularly the water information about the toilet rebates and the smart sprinkler systems and things like that. Yeah, once the scales and tails thing started up, nobody came over to the booth anymore, but that was fine because it was interesting to watch what was going on over there too.
We gotta get a cute mascot.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that Quinn and I were talking about, though, that I think would be really worth an ask for our budget, for whenever we can ask for budget, is if we could get a
spread.
a spread or a tablecloth or whatever
Yeah.
for our booth that has our name on it. Because we're noticing some of the other booths did have that, and that looked really nice. And we also probably should do some brainstorming of other sorts of things that we could give away at the booth. Particularly in terms of, some sort of game or candy or something that draws the kids in and is like some sort of giveaway that has information as well. That seemed to be quite popular at the other booths, and we don't have something like that. And I think it would be useful, especially if we ever decide to do a booth at the farmer's market or Summerfest, Orem Fest.
Oh, sorry, Orem Fest. I think I told you about how I've seen, where it's like a cornhole game and you have the
Mhm.
bean bags and it's like the holes are labeled trash, recycling, compost, or whatever. And then you have bean bags that are labeled different things or have a picture of different things. And then you have to practice sorting, throwing it into the right circle.
Yeah.
That's one game that I've seen that could be.
I just want to stuff a note, I will plug in for a budget increase. I'm sure this late in the budget, they'll honor that, but I can always ask, and sometimes there's always other little pots and money we can justify using for certain things, so.
Okay, that'd be great.
That would be really helpful, Matt. I agree with Paul that it would be really good just to have our standard kit, like our booth kit. And our booth kit, will have the branded tablecloth, which I did go over and talk to, like the Orem Neighborhoods Commission about theirs. They said that they were able to just get it printed. It has to get designed. Someone has to design it. And then it just gets printed by any one of these print shops in town.
Yeah, I have experience with that.
Okay, we could use your experience with that. So I think we want that. I think we want to be thoughtful about the paper that we hand out and what flyers we think are most relevant. Matt, I know that you provided us with quite a few options there. I observed that the brownfield sites flyers were the least popular.
I just brought them because I had them.
Yeah. I did have one person that was quite interested in that, but yeah, for the most part, it was the water conservation that people wanted more info on.
I put the consumer subsidies on our agenda tonight, in part inspired by our experience there. That if we can get to where we are really well versed in all the ways in which we can help save people money and save resources simultaneously, I think that is a really effective set of talking points for us that's consistent with our brand and consistent with people's interest, because some of these are relatively complex, the requirements for them, and we could play an interpretive role there, I think, when we are in public spaces like that. And then I did talk to the UTA Commission, which had little cornhole games, Sarah, and they said those were quite popular. We also got some feedback that if we could somehow come up with a wheel that you spin and win a different kind of prize with the wheel, that wheels are always the biggest hit. Some of those things sound like work to pull together, both intellectually and physically, to pull that together. So I don't know exactly how to distribute that work amongst ourselves, but I do think that just having a ready-made booth kit that we can pull out of storage and be ready to rock and roll anytime we feel like we should have a public presence would benefit us. At least the part that I was there, which overlapped significantly with scales and tails, was, it felt like we were two middle-aged guys at a pretty boring table with some random flyers, some of which were helpful, and Matt was really grateful that we had something to give as we did that. But we had ideas of how we could up our game. So Sarah, I know that you are a creative genius. Darren, I know you hate booths. And Matt, I know that you have a lot of experience, so maybe collectively we can just gradually get better.
I think we could maybe, if we had any kind of relevant surveys that we were interested in getting some feedback, we could assign Darren to design a survey, but he doesn't have to do the booth, right?
Yeah.
That fits with what you're interested in, right?
Could help think of booth stuff, yeah.
But I mean, that could be another
Yeah.
relatively simple way to
Yeah.
engage and get some feedback in the meantime,
Yeah, just tell us, what do you think? We've got
whatever the topic is.
three questions for you.
Yeah.
Tell us your opinion about this. Yeah.
I like that. Darren, you're on the team then.
I'm on the team.
You're on the booth team. Welcome, Hillary. Glad you're back. I guess one concrete next step that would go a long way to branding appropriately would be to have a design and get it printed for a table covering. And Matt, I'm wondering, do we have access to city resources to help with that, or will we need to find
Branding for the committee, is that what you said?
at least for the table covering?
I mean, yeah, me.
So I can share with you what, I don't know if it was Stephen or if it was Pete, it might have been Pete a while back.
Yeah, I have the original.
Yeah, that's all it's been, is the
Stuff,
national resource.
Yeah, it seems pretty basic. I don't know if you want to try and upgrade.
I'm open to that, I just didn't I didn't want to assign you something that you weren't up for
Yeah,
assigning.
No, I mean, we can brainstorm that, come up with some ideas, but it's pretty simple vector art, I can. Probably do something there, and especially if it can sort of copy somebody else's ideas, but, you know. Copying isn't my forte when it comes to art, not originality, but. And we can work through it.
And I'm just imagining something right now, like, I'm not an artist at all, but like some sort of. I don't know, like a pie that's cut into 4 pieces where we have water, a leaf, a light bulb. And I don't know, a recycling sign or something like that, just something that like shows kind of what we do.
One thing I'll need to check out is the city's branding guidelines. We do have a formal document, I have a copy, I just haven't looked at it recently. Let's see if it mentions anything about committees or commissions. And what if there's any limitations on capitalizing on the city brand and incorporating what you want to do into that. But I'll have to research that.
Thanks. We appreciate the input you have on that, Matt. And you are our very capable liaison to city resources when it comes to these things. It's clear that other people that have booths have figured this out, and that we are behind the curve. So I would like us to at least catch up to the extent that we can there.
Well, one possibility is I can convince, because we need, right now you're borrowing my canopies and tables. And so, I'll need to put in some type of request for chairs, tables, canopies. All that stuff, but maybe one way I can justify that if it's shared resource with
Right.
development services. Then, we can swap out some
Because
stuff.
again, storage space. I
Yeah.
don't know what the storage.
Yeah,
you know.
so that's one way maybe I can. Pitch this is that we need this anyways for the department and we can. Not manipulate it, but adjust it as such as needed for specific uses.
Right.
Okay. I'm imagining, we may not choose to take advantage of all of these opportunities, but we have booth opportunities at Earth Day, at Orem Fest, at the farmers market, at a minimum, right? If not more. So we could do this every few months if we felt like we wanted to do it. And I also think that we have limited capacity as the group of 5 here. We can't do everything. We can't staff everything, but we have a lot of enthusiastic people in the community that support these goals, and that it would be appropriate to invite some of them to sit with us at these booths sometimes and get them involved in sharing these messages, because I think they would do it out of the goodness of their heart. And it would be one way that we could connect people into the work of the committee that starts to expand the influence and capacity that we have to do other things.
Yeah.
So you're looking into some of those resources and branding guidelines. Would you also be in a position to figure out how much it would cost us to get a printed table cover?
I already have that info.
Okay,
Other programs.
okay.
So off the top of my head, I can get a hold of it.
So Michaela, can we just put that on the agenda for next time? Is follow up with, learn what Matt has gathered. And again, Matt, that's only in a couple of weeks, but maybe at least the information gathering part can be done by then, and we can discuss what we've learned.
Yep.
Okay. Darren, you wanted to talk about Orem Fest.
Yes, I do. I mean, this relates to our activity, the bike ride, which did we want to discuss that at all, or?
Yeah, perhaps we should do that well, we haven't talked about it yet. Sorry, go ahead. Paul.
Yes, the review of activities, but while we were on the bike ride, Ryan that's his name, right? Who was with us, yeah. Right, and we were talking about, different bike resources in the community. And we mentioned how we wanted to do a bike valet at Orem Fest. And he said, oh, consider that funded. So we got a bunch of money.
All right.
Yeah, so that was great. So, we said several $100s. He said, yeah, great. So, he said, just go. So, yeah, I was excited to say that at this meeting, and I've said it, so let's do this.
And I'm still waiting to hear back from the bike director, I believe, of Bike Collective that run that.
Oh, okay, you've emailed them recently and haven't heard back, huh?
I got a follow up in the email, to see if on who that was. He did respond, but
Okay,
I think I responded with some additional follow-up questions.
okay, I see,
And I don't think I've heard back on that.
okay.
And so, I'm not sure.
And we were just gonna pilot this Saturday.
Who are you talking to? Last person I talked to was Jordan Bartholomew, but that was a couple of years.
Dave Dimham, oh. Bike Collective?
Yeah,
Definitely.
oh,
They've had directors.
yeah. So it's a different director.
Well, yeah.
I mean, this was pre-COVID. so-
Yeah, Kara Johnson was the director last couple of years ago. She just moved on.
Okay,
And the person that responded was on my email to her.
okay, I see,
And I forget his name off the top of my head.
okay, right, I'm 3 directors behind.
Yeah, not sure it's the greatest paying job. It's
Yeah.
part-time, so they move on.
Yeah,
Session full-time work presents itself.
So what do we need to do? What action items are coming out of this conversation to get this set?
I think the action item is simply to, now that we know we have funding, to just book the date and have them come.
So I guess Matt will handle that side. We can work on promotions.
Yeah, yes,
And
good
put
point.
together social media, whatever, some posts so that people can know that this will be available this weekend.
Yes.
Make sure that they're available that
Right.
day and they can staff it.
Yeah,
And once it's confirmed, then, several posts on social media so that families can plan.
yeah, bring their bikes.
Neighbors can plan to bring their bikes.
Yeah. Yeah,
What that,
In addition to our social media initiatives, I really think we need to talk to the summer or Orem Fest committee, right?
yeah,
yes.
I'm in contact with them already on that.
okay,
Oh, great, thank you, Matt.
So Ken Matthews sits on the committee and
Okay.
I.
and Debbie,
But she sits on that committee too? Good.
I don't think that's an issue being there, but I'll need to continue to coordinate.
Yeah,
okay,
and yeah, if they know, then they can help spread the word too,
Yeah.
obviously.
I don't know when they print the. But if we know in time, if they haven't gone to print yet, they can add it to the booklet.
Yeah,
So last I heard from him was on March 19th.
okay.
I will get back to you ASP with an estimate.
Oh dear. Thanks.
Uh,
for on that.
I have some concerns that we need a space to do it, and that they probably are mapping out the lawn space pretty carefully. So in that sense, we want the physical planning aspect of Orem Fest, the Orem Fest committee. Make sure that we are not relegated to somewhere offsite or, whatever the worst case scenario is.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a location at the Sarah Park, correct? But if we can get it at the city center park, that's.
that would be better,
Yeah,
right,
And Ken, right?
thank you.
thank you.
Matt, it seems like most of that is on you. Is there anything we can do?
Yeah, I was.
Right, yeah.
Thank you.
I would really, my expectations for the number of people that use it are going to be low because no one's ever done it before. So I think the biggest blitz we can get to make sure that the word gets out, the better. And then I think that maybe even getting somebody to interview people that used it and put it into one of our
Yeah,
presentations so that we have a testimonial that we can share in the next newsletter or something like that. Do we need Pete to help us with the pre and post communication?
I think if you can give me some ideas about what you want. I don't know, it's probably not that
Okay.
complicated, you probably just need some information going out, saying the service is available at the Summerfest, right?
and figure out what that location is. So that we
Yeah.
know, like,
Nrsc, yeah, right.
And then, yeah, I like your idea, Quinn, of, yeah, being able to find a family that uses it and ask them how it is and, and follow up with that later on as advertising.
We could find some families who have biked before or something like that. And get a social media post or two before the event with, you know, a picture of them and the family with their bikes or something like that. And a little blurb about the benefit and, you know, how it's been helpful and.
I would say if something that's helpful would be helpful is, I mean, once the city has a post about service, if somebody from outside the city share that post to, you know, the various community Facebook and Instagram
Mhm.
services out there or groups. You know, I know somebody's bicycle collective or this committee to take a view on that, but just distributing that as far and wide as they can on social media, and maybe some of these key bike families in the city might be able to help with that as well, and put it on their own feeds and their groups and.
Add to the comments and if people
Mhm.
invite them to
Yeah,
share a picture of them, with their kids or something like that.
yeah, because you can put this stuff out there if nobody comments, the algorithm.
Yeah,
or such,
that's the
they
thing,
just
so we
get
have
very-
to add our comments and.
Yeah, so the more comments, the better, if you
Shares.
want to share it widely. Yeah, we can certainly look at it with people, you know. Like email distribution. and all that.
Hillary put into chat a question about the Saturday date of Orem Fest. Can we confirm that date?
It's the 10th. I'm just looking at it,
It's June 10th.
June 10th.
Okay, so what that means is that we have another meeting before then. On June 1st, and so Michaela, we need to put Orem Fest on our agenda for the 1st. And then Matt, again, I think dumping some things on you here, but if we before that can have our space confirmed, that we have the service scheduled and confirmed.
Mhm. Yeah, there's all the emails.
Then what we can do next time we meet is really just make sure that our communication is in order.
Yeah.
Our plan there.
I have a question for Michaela.
Uh-huh.
How goes your e-bike conversion kit?
It's,
You completed it?
yeah, and I've ridden over a few times with it and a few times got interrupted by we had to service it 'cause my brakes were weird, but that wasn't from the conversion kit. It was from me. But it's fantastic.
See, we could get a
And-
testimonial
yeah.
from Michaela and her new.
It's now even inspired my husband to buy a bike, so he did. That's now
This.
he's mine.
Well,
Ripple effects, yeah, exactly.
So pretty cool.
That's great.
I love it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that.
It's,
Could we get?
but
something
I think
like that's out of the way?
Yeah, I mean, I can start working on that.
But I think it worked in less
Kind of something.
Because that would be another way, because
Yeah,
people
very
are going to share information that
Yeah. That's good.
easily found.
That's good, yeah. There's that's a big headline.
Yeah.
The Orem effect. No, it's kind of funny, it's kind of. Yeah,
Good thing.
yeah. Family.
Well, it's just,
Yes,
Yeah.
family. You.
So, yeah. Social media, maybe the pamphlet, and then maybe the webpage, that would be.
Yeah.
To get the word out.
Would be great.
When is the parade? Do we know when the parade is?
Darren's on the
Got the
website.
webpage up, yep, here we go, the complete list of events. The road rally, the pancake breakfast, the baby contest, the fireworks, the grand parade, Saturday, June 10th, yep.
Okay. So we can't advertise in the parade necessarily, but people going to the parade could take advantage.
Yeah.
Anything else that we want to talk about with respect to that shouldn't wait until June 1st? Can I hear how the bike event went then?
Yeah, it was good. So people had, came and left at different times, but I think we had around 12 people that participated, not counting, I think, Hillary's family. And Shauna Meekum of the Orem Bicycle Coalition led the route, and she had a plan where we had several stops along the way where we could talk about different issues or ideas or just people's experiences with different parts of biking around Orem. So in addition to the members of our committee, we had, I think, 3 or 4 members of the Bicycle Coalition that were there. Brian from the city was there. And is he an engineer or?
he is the assistant city manager.
Yeah, assistant city manager. Okay, yeah, I don't know everybody's.
Dude, yep.
Yeah, so he was there and had some great insights and seemed to have a great time too.
I'd say that it was really valuable to have him along,
Yes.
because as we got to, Sarah Park and we looked around and said, wow, there's no bike racks here, Ryan said, oh, there's no bike racks here? I'm gonna solve that problem.
Yeah,
So, yeah, we need him. That was
Right.
great.
it was. And Brayman also
Brandon
came,
there and Jeff Lamson.
and Jeff Lamson from the city council came, and he had a great time. He had to leave before the end, but he followed up with emails and things. I had a great time, and so
We also biked past the mayor and his wife out on a walk.
yeah, they were on a walk, so they saw us, and
We waved.
they were doing active transportation, so it was
That's
perfect. Yeah, so some of the things that Shauna brought up as we stopped at different places was the idea of maybe certain neighborhoods becoming bicycle corridors and how that might happen, or whether we'd be interested in exploring that. The usefulness of bike lanes in different places. One thing that we talked a lot about when we got to the city rec center was that you can get to the city rec center on Center Street, which feels very dangerous when you're riding a bike, or you can get to it by alternative routes that are very much safer and more pleasant. And that the Bicycle Coalition could come up with some maps of these routes that we could advertise to people to make it more I don't know, more fun to bike to some of these places, and you could feel safe biking maybe with your kids, things like that, to some of these places. So that was definitely something we talked about. We talked about, like Darren brought up, bike racks and parking in different places. What else? What am I missing?
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think that was
a very pleasant morning.
yeah,
Very
it was
informative,
perfect
and,
weather.
yeah, nice to chat with other people and join forces with them.
Yeah.
And I like the focus. Shauna did a really good job putting it together. She took us to, again, these various city amenities that are family friendly. She met, leaned into the Family City USA branding for Orem and how to make these great amenities that the city has to offer more friendly to get to for bikers of all ages. And again, experience more pleasant ways to get around and a little less pleasant ways to get around, and how we feel about that and how we can find it safer and just more interesting. She also talked about kind of some artistic opportunities, perhaps, building on what the city's done with the art, the utility box art. Is there a way to expand some of that artistic expression in other areas that might make for more interesting travel opportunities since we're getting around the city, especially by bike?
This is making me think that one of a really big contribution we could collaborate with the Bicycle Collective on is a bicycle lovers map of Orem.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And
yeah,
so it's not all of the bike route lanes, right? It is if you like to ride your bike, these are the places where you will like to ride your bike.
Well, and Hillary came with her family, and she's in a situation where her daughter's gonna have an opportunity to work at the Sarah and travel by bicycle. So how do how can we prepare our emerging adults who are not able to drive,
yeah,
but still wanting to kind of have a little bit more grown-up experience and work experience? And so I think that was a good example. Hillary, I don't know. Sorry for speaking for you, but you were quiet for a little bit, but I think that was a valuable addition to the conversation. Is, you are actively thinking about, how do I send my child out on a bike who wants to engage with the city and the community?
Quinn, I agree that sounds like a really useful way that we could cooperate with the Orem Bicycle Collective. They have been talking about doing a program where they map all the bike parking places in the city, the bike racks. And so I've been thinking, oh, I should get involved with that. So that they are already doing a little something like that. And so I think that we should just support that effort. And then in addition to the bike racks, move into the, lanes and streets idea. Yeah, I think that would be a very valuable service. Knowing where the bike racks are alone would be a very valuable service.
It would. I just think that as I bike and as I think about going for a bike ride, I know what to do and to navigate difficult streets if needed, but it often keeps me from going, just the energy that I know I will need to expend to cross, the streets and do those kinds of things. And I think that's amplified with children.
Yeah,
So having a lovely day out, a map of a lovely day out where many of those existing stresses are not required. I think a lot of people would take advantage of that. As an anecdote, I was thinking, as Hillary, with your child going to Sarah, my 14-year-old son this year, because he can't drive, he bikes all over Orem. He is pretty skilled, but it still gives me a lot of stress. He's constantly riding to the rec center and to Lake Ridge Junior High, right, which is across town without bike lanes. And somehow he has survived. He biked all winter long, in snowstorms and everything, because that's the kind of guy he is. But man, it's caused me some anxiety. And I know that when he went to the rec center, he took Center Street because he was not as aware of some of the other ways to go. I guess the one upside is that whole year of biking has given him these huge thighs, enabled him to win the Alpine School District 400-meter track race this year.
Awesome, there you go.
I don't know if he could have done that if he hadn't been biking for a year, so.
That's great.
One last thing I did want to mention was that there was definite interest from Shauna and the other members of the coalition to make this a yearly event.
Let's do it. It'll get
Yeah.
bigger and better each year.
Yeah. Well, I thought the size was nice, but you know, it'd be nice to expand to different constituencies and see if we can get more city council members involved.
Henry, did you have any comments on this before we move on?
No, I thought it was lovely, and my daughter did bike to her first shift on Saturday, and all went well.
Well, let's just review the calendar, Matt. I saw that you were quite proactive about getting some things on the calendar for later in the year. And I thought we could just review a couple of those things. I saw a hike appear, is that correct, in September?
It was discussed.
We discussed it, we scheduled it, yeah.
Yeah,
Are you not recalling that?
So I have a save the date for our hike on September 9th, right? Saturday, September 9th,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yep.
Do we have any other things like that on the calendar that I have been missing? Or is it just the hike?
I think we're starting small. And that's a good way to start.
Okay. Are you planning to lead that one, Darren? I would love to join.
I think I volunteered or was voluntold, and yeah, happy to do that.
Okay. Is there anyone else that has calendar items for parts of the year that we need to discuss today?
I will just, we don't necessarily need to discuss it today, but I know that we did talk about if we wanted to do like a farm crawl this next year, we would have to plan earlier.
Yeah.
If that were like an October event or something. But
Where we ended up with that.
But I don't know, I mean, like Wilkerson Farm will be in the middle of its festival. In October. So again, I don't know if we were planning to pursue that or not, but if we are, that's something we should be thinking about now.
Yeah. I still like the idea. I know that last year we encountered a little bit of a lack of enthusiasm on the part of the participants.
Right.
Yeah.
Which may not have changed. But even if we are at a point where we can just say, you know, Orem Agriculture Day, October, whatever, we will, you know, there are three local orchards that are having open houses for an hour back to back, something like that. And use it to get the constituencies like we did with the bike event that we think matter, that we want to be aware of these spaces and the value that they provide, and then open it up to other people as well if needed. But I think it would be a pretty easy sell to some of these agricultural partners that we have to say, we just need you for an hour. And we want to introduce some folks from the city council and others to the great stuff that you do. And we will advertise it as well to the public, but it's not designed to be a lot of work on your part.
I think the more we design the event ahead of time, that is very cohesive, it has well-structured objectives, audience. If we really structure that event and then take it to the ag folks in Orem, then it would be easier for them to understand what it is we're trying to do. I mean, if we have like a more tangible outline, a plan for promotions, audiences we're planning on targeting, how we're gonna do that,
Yeah.
kind of a calendar of, you know, deadlines for various, again, promotions, then I think it would be a little bit easier sell for them if they could see that it's a, you know, that we're planning
Yeah.
to get them a little there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just. Yeah, I'm not sure that. The Crandalls, and talking to them, they've never been. You know, that enthusiastic about this. I mean, partly maybe it's because we haven't had a good vision, but. They're just really busy in the fall already, right? And so. I don't know, I love the idea, but it's been difficult to find a way to make it work. Especially within the city limits of Orem, where there's just so little agriculture still.
Who are the candidates besides Crandall's and Wilkerson's?
What if, well, what about this?
Like a farmer's market spin-off event?
Yeah, what if, I don't know, what if instead of a farm crawl, what if we did a Xeriscape crawl? And and at the end, so everybody go visit these 5 houses, and after maybe it's even a sort of a, go take pictures and come and show us your pictures and stand around at Orem City Center Park and get some treats and talk to other people who went and visited those 5 places. I don't know. No, it's just
Like a parade of homes.
yeah, like a parade of homes, right? A parade of Xeriscapes.
Yeah.
And we would, yes, a parade of waterwise landscaping, yeah.
Hold up the tongue.
Yeah.
And as the homeowner, all they'd have to do is, I think, people would not go traipsing through their yard. I think most people would just be respectful and look and take it. I mean, people walk by my house all the time and take pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, they do, and they talk to me about it, and they like ask me if they can take pictures and stuff. I think there's genuine interest in this sort of thing. And so if we created a day for that and a location, because I don't know where others are in this city, but that could be maybe a fun event, and then people can go whenever you want between the hours of 5 and 8, and come to City Center Park afterwards and talk to people about what you saw and pick up a treat for your family. I don't know.
Hillary, I know you had a group of students that did some research on xeriscaping and waterwise landscaping in Orem. I know that. Was there any component where they invited people who were interested, like, to make their contact available? No, okay, so it's all anonymous data. Okay,
We can figure this out though.
well, sure, I know that they recently did that, so if that was a database that you had available to you, then that could also.
I have a bunch of addresses that I don't know who lives there, but that have Xeriscapes, because I was gonna keep, I have another student who's gonna keep interviewing people, so I can share that.
Yeah, if we could just have the addresses, then we could show up ourselves and ask them if they would be willing to participate in a parade of Xeriscapes. Hawks, a parade of Xeriscapes. That's our acronym. Enjoy a night of Hawks with the rest of the city. Dress up in your old English finery.
That sounds fun, Darren. Some of you are interested in leading the design of that. I would be certainly interested in supporting it. Because we're starting to run out of time, Michaela, we're going to add a couple of things to the agenda. So for June 1st, if we can put on the agenda a fall community event. This would be an October event, and let's let that percolate a little bit. I would be very supportive of either a minimalist tour of agricultural spots. I still think it could work. But I'd be very happy to support a zero-scaping version of that too. But let's think a little bit more about that. The other thing that I would love us to talk about on the 1st of June, and maybe we need to do some email before that with one another, is I just want us to be on the same page in terms of understanding what consumer rebates there are out there for water and for energy conservation. As I was doing some research on this online, there's I don't know, for example, a page that is the Alternative Fuels Data Center, which is a state page for Utah, and it has lots of detail on the electric vehicle incentives and these other things. It's just not a very user-friendly page because it has 48 paragraphs or something associated. And one of the services I think we could provide nicely this year is thinking about the top 5 environmentally conscious rebates that you should be taking advantage of now.
That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
And then that could feed really nicely into our booth. I mean, every time we had a booth, we could even just do that.
Yeah.
And the one that they can't take advantage of because their city code is not aligned.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, just going back slightly, but also on the booth, on the fall activity, do we know yet if the city's gonna be doing the Harvest Festival again this year? Okay,
Or touch a truck.
yeah, there's Touch a Truck and Harvest Festival. So I don't know if the Harvest Festival would be something that we would want to have an activity in addition to the Harvest Festival. Or, and have a booth at the Harvest Festival, or if we roll an activity into the Harvest Festival, but that would be another scheduling thing.
Not behind the calendar is not helping me out much. Even Orem Fest is not this calendar.
Oh, really? Yikes.
Oops.
That's not gonna hurt.
Calendar, if I find a calendar that's, you'll pop that, I'll like this.
That's a great question. Let's table that till the 1st of June.
Yeah.
But figuring out whether to collaborate with or to do something additionally is a good question. I'm really digging the lightning bolts, Hillary.
Thank you. We're going to a band concert right now.
Wondering what we were talking about.
I think those are the ones you wore at the commencement, right?
Totally.
Yeah, I love them.
Really quick, I wanted to tell you I sent Pete a bunch of social media posts over the weekend. He already posted one.
Yeah, look
Yeah, I
good.
think I saw that one.
Yeah. So stay tuned. There's more to come.
It looked good. Thank you. Yeah.
Hillary, would you, for the past couple of meetings, we've put communications planning toward the end of the agenda. Would it be helpful for you to have some significant time in a meeting coming up to talk about our strategy there, or do you feel like we're in a good place?
If there's time, I think it's helpful for like you all to share ideas with me of what you think would be good. That's the most helpful thing.
Okay.
Because then I can play around and have fun and stuff. But yeah, it's helpful if people are like, here's what we think we should highlight.
Well, if we have space on the agenda, Michaela, we'll keep it on since we keep toward the
Sounds good.
end. Is there anything that any of you would like to discuss tonight other than approving our minutes? Okay, if you could look up the minutes if you haven't had a chance to see them and see how artfully crafted they are.
Indeed.
I looked at them right before the meeting and they are artfully crafted and I move to approve the artfully crafted minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Hi.
All right, minutes have been approved. I will motion to adjourn our meeting tonight.
Well, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we are officially adjourned. Michaela, we're glad you're back. Thanks for supporting us and grateful for the energy you bring to this assignment. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
All right, sounds good.
I'd like to, my fellow committee members for tolerating my fidgets there.
To get blood.
Yeah, I gave blood today and I realized what a fun toy this is. Halfway through the meetings.